things happen. I can't do this.
Theresa Caputo used to have it all, but then her husband left her, and it looks like it all had to do with how successful she'd become. But what actually happened to her marriage? Is she dating someone new these days? And where is her ex-husband now? Theresa and her ex-husband Larry tied the knot in 1989. At the time, they'd been dating for about 2 years. They first got together when Theresa was 18, and it seemed like they were happy together for a long time. They even had 2 children together, Larry Jr. and Victoria, but unfortunately, things didn't last. In December 2017, they gave a joint statement to People. In it, they said, after 28 years of marriage, we have decided to legally separate. We will always love each other and our 2 wonderful children. They also said that they still wanted to support each other, and they asked for privacy during that time. Then in June 2018, Larry talked to TMZ about the state of their relationship. By that point, he'd already moved away. After he and Theresa separated, he decided to move to Los Angeles. What's interesting is that he told TMZ that he'd moved there in September, which means that he was already living on the opposite coast when he and Theresa announced their split in December. Larry was asked about how their separation was going, and he said that at first, the separation was just a 3-month trial period, but they moved on from that, and at the time of this interview, they were already in divorce proceedings. Larry said that he was fine and happy, and that he knew that Theresa was doing well too. He added that he didn't know when the divorce would be finalized, but it wasn't yet finalized at the time of the interview. Theresa and Larry were officially divorced in December 2018, and after that, they seemed like they were both ready to move on. But why did their marriage actually end? It looks like they were able to stay on good terms even after going their separate ways. So it couldn't have been anything too dramatic. Interestingly enough, it seems like Theresa's show might have had something to do with it. Larry talked to Writer Online, and he said that the show wasn't good for their relationship. Larry said that when Long Island Medium first started in 2011, it was exciting and fun, but this eventually changed. The couple were suddenly in the public eye, and this affected their private life. Larry said, when you're in the public eye, it does put a strain on your personal life. He claimed that this could be very hard for the average person because they just weren't trained for that kind of thing. He hinted that he'd had no idea what he was getting himself into, but then he also talked about how the show affected Theresa. He said what Theresa does is very demanding, and it was consuming most of her time, which takes away from personal life. It seems like Larry wasn't happy that Theresa was so successful because it meant that she had less time for him and their marriage. He said that they grew in different directions, but is that all there was to it? Is it possible that he was jealous of her? Did he move to LA because he wanted to get out of his wife's shadow? Honestly, it's hard to say. We don't know a lot about what actually happened between them, but it's clear that the show had something to do with it. In October 2019, 10 months after their divorce was finalized, Theresa spoke to Us Weekly. She was asked if she missed being married, and she said that she did, but at the same time she didn't. She explained that she missed what once was. Theresa said, "This is a grieving process, but things weren't the same that they were 34 years ago. Clearly something changed in her and Larry's marriage. They just weren't as happy as they used to be, which was obvious even just from watching the show. When they were still together, Larry addressed the issues they were having in one episode. He said that they were having a difficult time, and his opinion was that it had to do with how little time they were actually spending together. He also said there was a lack of communication in their marriage, and he described it as losing your best friend. Larry said, "As much as I try to busy myself so I'm not thinking about it, it's still there. Honestly, from all we know about their divorce, it genuinely sounds like Larry wasn't happy with Theresa's workload. He felt like it affected their relationship in a bad way, and that's why things started falling apart." But what's interesting is that it didn't take long before he started moving on. Theresa said that she was still grieving their marriage in October 2019. By that point, Larry had already been back on the dating scene for more than a year. In the same June 2018 TMZ interview that I mentioned earlier, he was also asked about his love life, and he said that he actually met someone special. He pretty much left it at that, but soon we found out more details about who he was dating. In July 2018, TMZ reported that he was seeing a woman named Connie Stoddy. Sources close to Larry confirmed that at the time Connie was 53 years old. She was from Decatur, Alabama, and she was also going through a divorce just like Larry. What's also interesting is that they apparently met in a pretty crazy way. According to a source, they actually met online, but not through a dating app. Connie apparently decided to contact Theresa. She wanted a reading from her, but instead Larry responded to her message, and it looks like they somehow really hit it off. TMZ reported that they stayed in touch and they started a long-distance relationship. Although sources told TMZ that they weren't exclusive just yet, Larry was later spotted in Alabama with Connie. They were seen shopping in the furniture section. It's not clear if Connie and Larry are still together now. There haven't been any reports about their relationship in a while. But what about Theresa? Has she also started dating again? Well, it looks like it. In 2021, she talked to People and she confirmed that she was in a new relationship. She met her new partner during the pandemic and things quickly developed from there. Theresa said, "We welcomed him into the bubble and that's where we decided to be exclusive." However, Theresa didn't reveal many more details about her new man. She apparently wanted to keep her new relationship private. She said that being in the public eye during her marriage to Larry could sometimes be really hard, but that was a decision the two of them made together. Larry and Theresa and their children all decided to enter the limelight, which made the whole thing a little better, but Theresa's new partner never made that decision. And she said that it wasn't easy to be thrown into a situation like that. On top of that, she also mentioned that her new man had a family of his own. It sounds like he might even have children, and he has to consider them too before entering the spotlight. So it makes sense why Theresa's been so private about her new relationship. Either way, it seems like she's happy these days. It seemingly took her a couple of years after the divorce to move on and start dating someone new, but it sounds like she and her new man understand each other well, and they're communicating about what they want, which is really important, especially since a lack of communication was apparently one of the problems she and Larry faced. But anyway, what do you guys think about all this? Why do you think Theresa and Larry's marriage ended? Do you think he was jealous of her success, or did they just grow apart? Let me know in the comments below.